You're watching Garage Gambles, and this is my daily driver BMW 118i E81 2010 model. Now, I've had this car for coming up to 9 years now, and I've done many an oil change on this car. So this should go pretty quick. Hey, Lauren. Okay, so the goal for today is to do a full service. So that means drain the old oil. I'm going to change the oil filter. I'm going to change the air filter, and I'm also going to change the cabin filter. Other than that, I'm just going to have a look at all the other fluids. Then while the car is in the air, I'm just going to have a look underneath and see if everything looks okay. That is pretty much it. Let's jump into it.
The parts required for a baby beamer like this is actually quite affordable. For oil, I decided to go for Shell Helix 5W40. I also got a GUD air filter, a GUD M47 oil filter, as well as a cabin filter. And to my surprise, the vast majority of people that watch this channel is actually from the US or UK. So going forward, I'll try to add conversions for USD and GBP. The tools we need to perform this service includes a jack or ramps to get underneath the car, jack stands for extra safety, a 17mm socket to remove the sump plug, a 10mm socket to remove the air filter housing from the engine bay, an 8mm to remove the cabin filter, a Torx T20 bit to remove the air filter, a socket wrench and optionally a torque wrench as well, an oil filter wrench, an oil drain pan or any plastic container that can contain at least 5 liters, and a funnel.
First problem with this car is this pretty standard jack is literally not low enough to jack my car up because there's still a foot there and I need a rubber that I need to get in there. So that's not going to work. Luckily, I've got ramps, and trust me, these ones are a bit less dodgy than the previous ones I used. You might remember that. But even with these ramps, the bumper is still too low. So I'm still going to need to make another plan to get on these ramps. So let me show you. Okay, so this is literally just to lessen the approach angle. And then hopefully that works. That also does the job.
A great success!
Alright, so the car is in the air. The only disadvantage with this is that obviously when you drain the oil, you want the car to be as level as possible. I'm not too concerned. I will check how much of the oil comes out. This car takes 4.25 liters, and I did check the oil and the oil was dead center. So let's see how much comes out. Another thing is I did let the car run for about 15 minutes. Differs for every car. You want the oil to be warm but not hot so that you don't burn yourself. The car is on ramps at the moment, but just to be 100% sure, I am going to put some jack stands underneath. It's gonna be tight under here. Okay, what I usually do is I just remove the oil fill cap. I don't even know if that makes a difference, but I don't want to have a vacuum. So tell me in the comments if that actually helps. The next thing is I've got my oil drain pan, then I've got a light, and I've got my 13mm and my socket. Very important. Obviously, you want to remove this on the oil drain pan. Okay, so the oil will drain into this, and then very importantly, the same reason as I just removed that cap on the engine is you have to remove this, otherwise the oil will not actually fill into this oil drain pan, and trust me, that's a mess. Don't ask how I know. Oh yeah, one more thing. Make sure you've got an old rag, and I'm just using some degreaser. It's a BMW. It does leak oil, so I just want to clean it up a bit. So as you can see, this car is leaking quite a bit of oil, which is something that we probably need to address. It is a BMW, after all. You'll see, that's crusty. Damn. Definitely leaking much more than the last time I changed the oil. Let's see how little or how much I can make.
Don't miss.
I'll try. Oh, fuck. Okay. So the oil is the perfect temperature, whereas I didn't burn myself to shit, but it's warm. So that's great. So the warmer the oil is, the better it'll flow and drain. The problem is this might take some time and I'm pretty stuck at the moment. So I'll just lie here.
Quick heads up, my mic died around here and I only realized it a bit later, so I'm adding some voiceover for this section. But don't worry, the audio eventually switched over to the camera, so just bear with me for a moment. And yes, I am in the process of buying a proper DJI mic, which should hopefully put an end to all my audio problems once and for all. So now that the old oil has fully drained, we can move on to removing the oil filter. Luckily, on most BMWs, the oil filter is located right at the top of the engine, which makes this part of the job a heck of a lot easier. I'm using a basic chain style oil filter wrench here, which works perfectly well on this car, but there are better options available out there. At first, I thought I'd try using brute force to loosen the oil filter housing, but it turns out I don't quite have the required 25 Newton meters of torque in my arms that I thought I might have. So instead, I wrapped the chain wrench around the housing, gave it a crack, and it came loose pretty easily. From there, you can simply unscrew it by hand. Just make sure you've got an old rag nearby, because some oil will definitely drip out. So with the old filter removed, I grabbed my GUD M47 oil filter. And this name is actually quite a bit misleading, because people often assume it's only for BMW's M47 2-liter diesel engine. In reality, this filter is used across multiple engines, including my car's 2-liter petrol N43 B20 engine. And I've used this exact replacement filter every time I've serviced this car. So while I was busy removing my old oil filter, I sent Nougat, our junior meowchanic, underneath the car to check whether the oil had finally stopped dripping from the sump. Before installing the new filter, it's really important to remove the 3 rubber O-rings from the oil filter housing. I'm using a metal pick tool here, but a small flathead screwdriver works just as well. Just be careful not to scratch the plastic. Inside the box with a new oil filter, you'll find the 3 new replacement O-rings and a new copper crush washer for the sump plug. I've realized that they don't always include the crush washer in the oil filter container, so make sure to check this before leaving the shop when you buy your service parts. Before fitting new O-rings, I like to use a bit of the old oil to lubricate them. This just helps them to seat properly, it reduces friction and prevents them from tearing when everything gets tightened down. Once all the new O-rings are in the correct positions, you can push the new oil filter into the housing. You'll feel a satisfying click when it's seated properly.
Nice.
I then just gave the area a quick wipe with a rag before threading the housing back in by hand as far as possible and tightening it the rest of the way with the oil filter wrench. BMW specifies 25 Newton meters for this, but you'll very clearly feel when it's fully seated. So with the oil filter back in and the old oil fully drained, we can now replace the sump plug. Don't forget to fit the new copper crush washer, then slide back underneath the car and thread the plug in by hand. This time I use the torque wrench to tighten it to spec, which for this car is also 25 Newton meters. And now we can finally add our fresh oil. But the key here is not to overfill it. You can always add more oil later, but removing excess oil is a much bigger headache. I mentioned earlier that this engine takes 4.25 liters, so I'm adding around about 4 liters for now. Once the car is back on the ground, we'll check the level properly and watch till the end of this video to see what an absolute mission it is to do a simple task like checking the oil on a car like this, thanks to it not having a dipstick. With the messy part out of the way, we can move on to replacing the air filter. To do that, we first need to remove the air filter housing from the engine bay. I started by loosening the hose clamp on the intake boot and pulling it off the air filter housing. Next, the intake duct simply pulls off by hand. And finally, there are 2 10mm hex bolts on the right hand side of the housing. Once those are removed, the entire air filter box can be lifted straight out of the engine bay. Okay, so the audio from the camera is about to come back, so if you've watched until this point, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And once again, apologies for the audio issues. I promise that it will be much improved from the next video onwards. But yeah, for those that watched to this point, you've already helped so much. But if I can ask you for one more favor and just check if you've dropped a like on the video and also make sure that you have subscribed. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. This is the airbox. I've got a T20 bit on here and I think there's about 6 T20 screws here underneath, so I'm just going to remove them. Yes.
Okay, so you've got the old air filter and the new one. So yeah, that looks much better. And yeah, it does look like the right part, which is good. Let's quickly just pop this one out, like so. There you can see the difference. Nice. Should simply pop in like so. Nice. Okay, now we can simply screw this back on. Okay, that's done. Now this can go back in.
1 hour later.
Ah, there we go. That's it. That's on. That's back on. That's on. Flathead screwdriver. Air filter is back in. Last thing I want to do is the cabin filter, and this one is very quick. So we've got a few bolts there. I think there's 6. So I'm just quickly going to remove them. I think they're 8 millimeters.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Did I get it, cabin? Oh, I didn't actually buy a new cabin filter, and this one is pretty dirty. So I'll have to buy one again, but I just want to show you what it looks like and maybe just dust it out a bit as well. 3 clips there. And then comes out like so. Okay, so the inside of the car still looks pretty good, but you can see it is rather dirty. Okay, not ideal, but I'll fix that at a later stage. Okay, so that's good. Just putting it back. That's it. So we've got new oil inside, we've got a new air filter, we've got a new oil filter. We don't have a new cabin filter, but we will do in the near future. Then finally, I just want to quickly show you, just have a good look at your other fluids. So your washer fluid, obviously not that important. And I can still see liquid, so that's good. Then over here, I've got my coolant. For this car, I use pink coolant, and that's good. This should come out a bit. That's how you know it is full, and it looks, the color is good. And then our power steering fluid, which is over here, and that's also perfect. So all fluids are good. Always just check, make sure and feel everywhere that there are no more tools, no more screws, no more screwdrivers in the engine bay. If you've used lights, check that they are out of the way. Check that you've put back your oil cap. I just quickly want to start the car even while it's in the air. It should be good. Sounds good. And warning signs. Just quickly want to check underneath. That's just water. I washed the car and it's maybe from the aircon because it's been standing. Nothing is pissing out. You want to have a look at the oil filter, especially if you've got the wrong oil filter or if it's not connected properly. You will see it seeping out oil. Everything else looks good as well. So now I can go ahead, close the engine bay, then get the car off the ramps once I clean my hands, and then I just want to check the oil level. I just want to show you the oil level. Unfortunately, this car doesn't have a freaking oil dipstick, so I cannot manually check the oil level. So what I have to do is I have to go into the settings here, and then I have to go to oil. Now it's reading it. If you've got a BMW, tell me if it's just me, But I promise you, this thing takes like 5 minutes to read my oil level.
Later.
Good afternoon. It is the next day. I couldn't finish filming yesterday because my phone's battery died. But anyway, I just wanted to show you how to reset your BMW's computer when you've serviced your car. And also I want to show you, because I don't have an oil dipstick in this car, which sucks. So I need to get the reading electronically, and it's a pain in the ass. It takes forever on this car. So today I'm actually going to show you, and I'm going to time it while it's trying to figure out what the oil level is. So okay, you have to close your door to do this. Interesting. And then I've got a stopwatch here. So let's start this and then start the stopwatch. Okay. What a waste of my life. Wow, okay. So it just tells me okay. I swear usually there's a level, but yeah, that was about 50 seconds, but I still don't know what the actual level is. So now the car's running, so let's try again. So obviously it's not going to give you the right measurements if the car's running, because then the oil's just sloshing around. So this doesn't really make sense to my brain. Let me know in the comments if I'm the idiot. I don't even think it's going to do anything. I'll give it 5 minutes. Ah, okay. Freaking more than 2.5 minutes. Okay, and it's perfect. But I don't even know if I can trust that, because the car is currently on. The oil's sloshing around. And now if I turn it off and take the measurement, it's just going to give me that same reading. Great. Thanks, BMW. So after all that, the third time that I check, the second time with the car off, it just says okay. What a piece of shit. Alright, final thing I want to show you is just how to reset your service lights on your BMW. And it's pretty simple. So you're going to be using these toggles, but first you need to press and hold the trip reset button. I think like 5 seconds. Keep holding. There we go. Oh, that's like a general vehicle checkup. I might as well reset that. Okay, that's been reset. That is okay. Those are front brakes, rear brakes. I believe that's brake fluid. Okay, and then here's oil. Yeah, so I'm a bit late. I should have done it in November 2025. It's now early Jan 2026. So let's reset that. Perfect. 30,000 kilometers for an interval. That is ridiculous. Okay, perfect. So now if I start the car, I shouldn't be getting any warning lights or service lights. Perfect. Okay, so the last thing I actually want to check is just to inspect the oil that I've drained, and also to see how much actually came out. Like I said, I don't have an oil dipstick in this car, so I have to trust the electronics, which I don't really do. So this is obviously an old empty oil can. I've got my funnel here. This is the old oil that's been drained. I didn't see anything that looks strange, no metal particles or anything, so that's good. I'm going to close this. I'm going to open this one just so it can breathe. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if you can see the level. There, I can see. It looks to be around 4 liters, I think. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's because I drained the oil with the car angled? Or do you think my car's oil level sensor is dodgy? I'm very curious to find out. That's done and way overdue, but glad I did it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this content, please drop a like. Smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I'll see you again in the next one. Peace.